Hey there, and welcome. Have you ever stopped to think about what's really in charge inside your phone, your laptop, or even your smart TV? Well, there's a secret manager working 24/7 behind the scenes. And today we're going to pull back the curtain on the single most important piece of software you use every single day, the operating system.
So let's just jump right in with a thought experiment. Picture your computer, all that incredible hardware, the super fast processor, all the memory, the storage, but with absolutely nobody calling the shots. What do you think happens?
Yeah, you get chaos. Absolute, total chaos. Without a manager, a computer is just a really expensive, really useless box of metal and silicon. You know, it's kind of like a company packed with brilliant people, but there's no CEO, no managers, not even a schedule. Nothing would ever get done. It's the exact same story with your computer.
So, how do we fix this mess? Simple. We hire a manager. And in the world of computers, that manager is called the operating system, or as we all know it, the OS.
So what is it really? Well, in the simplest terms, the OS is the ultimate translator. It's the piece of software that lives right between you and the physical machine. When you click your mouse to open a file or tap an app on your phone, the OS is the one that takes your simple request and turns it into a language the hardware can actually understand and act on.
Now here's a more official textbook definition. And you know what's really interesting? The key word here is manages. The OS isn't just a simple translator, it's a full-blown resource manager. It's in charge of absolutely everything, making sure all the different parts, your keyboard, your screen, your apps, all play nicely together.
Okay, so we know we need a manager, but let's dig a little deeper into why. Let's look at how the OS takes that raw chaos and transforms it into the seamless experience we all take for granted.
And this really shows the night and day difference. I mean, without an OS, you'd have to manually send tiny electrical signals to every single component just to get it to do anything. It's literally impossible for a person to do. But with an OS, all of that crazy complexity is hidden. We just get a clean, simple interface that makes using a computer feel, well, easy.
So if we were to write a job description for this manager, it would really boil down to three main goals. First, convenience. Its number one job is to make the computer easy for us to use. Second, efficiency. It has to make sure all that powerful hardware is being used smartly with nothing going to waste. And third, and this is a big one, evolution. It has to be built in a way that lets us easily add new software and hardware down the road.
All right, we get why we need this manager. But what does it actually do all day? Let's break down its 5 most important responsibilities.
Think of this as its daily to-do list. First up, process management. That's the OS acting like a traffic cop, deciding which programs get to run and when. Then there's memory management, which is like a librarian, giving each program the space it needs without letting them scribble in each other's books. Next, file management. That's the super organized office admin creating all the files and folders we use to find anything. Device management is all about controlling everything you plug in, from your mouse to your printer. And finally, security, where the OS basically acts as a bodyguard, protecting the whole system. It's a massive juggling act, and it's happening every second.
So, now that you know what this manager does, you're going to start seeing them absolutely everywhere. They're not just on our desks, they run pretty much every piece of modern tech we touch.
I mean, you already know the most famous ones, right? For computers, you've got Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. On your phone, it's pretty much guaranteed to be Android or iOS. But these managers are also working in places you might not even think about, like the tiny embedded systems that run our ATMs, our smart TVs, and even our cars. Okay, let's wrap this up. If you're going to remember just a few things from our little explainer today, make it these 3. What is an OS? It's the critical bridge between you and the machine. What's its purpose? To make that machine both easy to use and super efficient. And how does it do it? Through those 5 key jobs: managing processes, memory, files, devices, and security.
And that leaves us with one last thing to think about. We've just talked about the general purpose manager that runs your laptop, but what about the really specialized ones? What does the operating system in a self-driving car or a space probe need to do that's completely different from the one on your desk? Something to chew on. Thanks for joining me.